What if I told you that one of your biggest assets for making money in business, in this case reselling, was math, or math and mindset? Now, before I scare you away, don't go anywhere, hear me out, because you may actually realize how simple it really is to have this understanding and how it will actually help you make so much more money. And I mean lots more money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why we do business. We're doing business to make money. That's why I'm doing business. It's to make money. So if you want to make lots of money, you're going to want to watch this video. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Reselling, and if you are new here, I'm all about building a business that suits my lifestyle. Now, this week has been week 111 for my reselling business, and today the topic is we're talking about how you can leverage math to make more money out of your business. Now, in this video, I want to share with you 6 different ways, and probably sure ways, in which you can actually leverage math to equip yourself with a better mindset and a better way to make more money. If you stick around to the end, of course, I'm going to show you some insights of my own business for the week, and I'll give you some behind the scenes of what's been happening as well. So let's dive into what do I actually even mean? Well, math enables us to produce foresight into how we operate. It enables us to make equations or understand equations that can, on paper, make things seem a lot more clearer or very, very lucrative or really, really bad, because we have better understanding. And I mean this in ways of when we go to make a purchase, when we're forecasting potential profits, and we can actually understand if something's going to be a good deal or a bad deal. Now, I've spoken about this a few times, but at the same time, math also gives us the ability to further this understanding a little step further. Now, I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm not trying to complicate this, but I'll be going through a few different examples that will help you have a better understanding of this. But we can leverage the math to then help us understand the time and effort for return. We can also think about how long it will take us to even see the results, and actually then start to make the decision, or start to ask yourself, does this even make sense to even do this? So let's go through the 6 examples. Example number 1 is profitability. Now, I have a profit calculator that I use on a regular basis, and I can show it up on screen. It goes through, if your deal is going to be a certain amount of money, how much is my average cost of goods, how much is my recommended selling price that I'm going to be able to get for selling these items, how many items can I sell, how much postage is it going to cost, what are the fees that I need to take into account. And there's also a section there to take into consideration if you're paying someone to do something, or if you've got an overhead that you need to take into account. And then it gives you the profitability, meaning how much profit will you make, how much revenue will you make, and how much will you make in terms of profit per item. Now with this is what I like to call the perfect world scenario. Now there's apps that do this for you, and then you can actually see, is this going to be profitable to do? Now, of course, you need to pick what is your profit. What are you looking for? Are you looking to make $1? Are you looking to make $10? Are you looking to make $100? It really comes down to what you're selling and what you like to sell. But the reality is this profitability, this profit calculator, and again, I've shared this before, and if you do want a copy of this, you can jump down in the description below. It enables us to do a perfect world scenario of basically putting in numbers that will help us see, is this going to be a good deal or not? Now, I'm not expecting you to go into an op shop or a thrift shop, or when you go to a deal to, whip out this Google sheet and start to think, oh yeah, can I calculate this in front of the person I'm buying off? No. But what it can do is help you when you're doing research, when you are planning to do a deal in advance, to actually run some numbers and understand, is this going to be a profitable deal? Is this going to be worth my time and money? But there's a lot more that goes into it after this, because there's things in terms of time to sell through rate, and understanding how quickly do we want this money returned. So that's what some of the next examples are all about. And example number 2 is price to sell. Now, in that first scenario that we spoke about, that perfect world scenario, that goes through a situation where, let's say that the item is worth $40, and that's assuming that you're going to get $40 for it. So you can actually see what your profitability is and what you want your max profitability be, because that's what the item's potentially worth. But when it comes to example number 2 around pricing to sell, we need to start to understand what are the ranges you can sell to make this item still profitable. Meaning, you don't need to be selling this at its full market value. You could be selling it with 10% off. You could be selling it with 20% off. You could be selling it with 30% off. Is that still viable? Is that something which is still going to be, I guess, in your comfort zone? Because, for instance, if something's worth $40, but you've only paid $1 for it, why do you need to get the $40? Why can't you get the $30? And yeah, you might get a little bit more profit, but you might actually get that today or tomorrow or in half the time that it would normally sell. It's going to be a lot more quicker to get that money back into your pocket so you can go do what you need to do again. So that's something really to consider. Is this priced to sell or is it priced at market price? Because I guarantee you most of your buyers are looking for their best bargain or the best bang for buck out there. And the question is your item that? If market value is, let's say it's $30, how much will you be happy to sell it for? Is it $30, $25, $20, $15? Of course, you've got to take into account, obviously your profit margins and things like that. But if you've paid really, really low for it, don't expect that you need to go get the best top dollar for it. Get what makes sense for you to get that item out the door and back into your pocket, those dollary dues. So example number 3 is average cycle time. Now, this is basically the time it takes to sell something once listed and how long it takes to actually get a return on investment on that item. Now, for full transparency, at the time of this video, it's actually Sunday night at 9:30, cycle time is 81 days, meaning from all the items that I've sold over the last 2 and a bit years, it's taken about 81 days on average. That's because I've got items that I've had sitting around for a long time, and some items sell a lot quicker, but that is the average cycle time, 81 days. My average ASP whole of life is $31, and my average cost of good is $2.09. Profit is around $15. That's my average profit per item, and my profit gain or my gain from a sale is about $12.91. So with that in mind, that's a 617% return on investment. Do you think that is worth it? Meaning to sell something in 81 days and get a 617% return on investment. Do you think it is worth it? Now, the thing that you also need to ask yourself is, where else can I get that kind of return in 81 days? Where else can you get it? Tell me where. That's something you really need to consider. And with that in mind, we're going to jump over to example number 4, which is time feasibility, meaning from buy to sell. And this is pretty much the same thing that we just spoke about in a similar matter, but a slightly different perspective. And it takes into the account of okay, if it takes 81 days to get a sale, let's say you get $15 profit. What if you could get $10 profit, but you're going to get it in 40 days? So instead of getting the 615% or whatever it was, 617%, essentially you're going to get 378% return on investment, but you're going to get it in half the time. What about 20 days? What about if you could sell it today and get $5 profit? That's 139% return on investment. I mean, do you think it's worth it? Again, tell me where else you can go in another investment form that you can get 139% on your money. Now, of course, yes, $5 isn't going to change your life very quickly, but if you've got 20 of these items, that starts to add up really, really quickly. Example number 5 is cost to sell. How much do you pay to actually make a sale? What does it cost you to actually sell? Now, we're going to go through some examples here, but there are 2 factors you need to consider. The first one being your operating costs, such as your postage and item costs, but also marketing costs, the fees and the marketing such as promos and advertisement that you're doing on eBay. This is assuming you're selling predominantly on eBay. So your cost of good might be a certain cost. Your postage will be a certain cost. Usually on average, it will work out to be probably $9 with Australian Standard Post. However, marketing, this is where it gets interesting. Most marketing on eBay ranges anywhere between 4 to 9%. Some people do 1%. I don't think you can do that anymore. I think the minimum now is only 2%. But the other thing you need to take into account is fees. 15% fees on average is how much it costs to sell something, give or take. Sometimes it could be 12. It really depends on what you're selling. I'm taking rough average numbers, and they could be a little high just to be safe with the calculations that we're doing at the moment. But in this case, let's use a $10 buy-in with postage also assumed at $10, and the sell is $100, meaning you've sold something for $100, it costs you $10, and it's going to cost you $10 to post. Fair game, easy enough to calculate. So we already know that you've only got $80 profit because it's cost you $10 to buy it, and it's cost you $10 to send it. So you're only at $80 profit. Now fees is going to be 15%, so now you're down to $65 profit back into your pocket. Now we start to consider promotion, 4 to 9%. The question here is, how much are you happy to pay in terms of promotion fees to have the item sell quicker? This is assuming that it does have that direct correlation that it will make it sell quicker. That's not always the case. It really depends on the item. But if you are going to spend 4%, that's $4, or spend 9%, that's $9. The question is, would you be willing to pay $9 to get $56 profit back in your pocket in half the time, that is something you really need to consider. And the next one is example number 6, which is sell-through rate. Now, if you don't understand sell-through rate, it's basically how many items you've sold from compared to the total amount of listing. Now, if I'm just referring to the standard front page of what you see on eBay when you open up your eBay app on your phone, and this is, again, being transparent, this is where I'm at this point in time. Just before starting this video, I took a screenshot. I've sold 877 items with 3,645 items listed, and in that 90-day cycle, that works out to about 24% sell-through rate. Now, this includes everything from DVDs to clothing to books to media to toys to bric-a-brac to things that I haven't culled to things which have been there for way too long. But this is everything. I'm being very, very transparent. Total sales is around $28,385. Now, if the current value of that 3,645 items is $73,000 in value, it follows the same trade that, 24% of this would be about $17,700. That's assuming if it's a $20 ASP. Now, the question I would ask you is, what if you could wipe off 25% of the sell price, but you could double your sell-through rate? Meaning you could sell 50% of the 3,645 items to get a cash flow of $36,500. Of course, you would need to factor in your profit margins and things like that, but this is something to consider, and this is something to try, and this is something to really bring your mindset to actually start thinking about, because a lot of the time we are looking at the market value dollar. We see it's listed for $60, so we want to try and get $60 too. But the reality is, if you've got enough wiggle room, I'm not saying to come in and undercut the market and bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. If someone offers you $40 for a $60 item, you need to really consider, I've only paid $1 for this. Are you happy to take $40 or not? Especially in the current times where things are quite tight with people's monies and what's in their pocket. Really something you need to consider, and that is the 6 examples. Now, there is one other thing that I do want to bring up to your attention, which is the compound money theory. And basically it goes like this. You can turn $5 into $30, which means you can 3x your dollars in a simple matter of a transaction. And the idea is that you duplicate this and you repeat this and you rinse and repeat it again and again to make even more money. Let me take you through it. Now, if you've purchased something for $5 and you're able to sell it for $30, essentially 30 minus 5 equals $25. You minus 17% fees. I'm just being worst case scenario here. That's another $5.10. So now you're at $19.90. Let's say postage is $9. That means you're working with about a $10.90 profit, or $15.90 back into your pocket. So you've literally doubled your money or tripled your cash flow. Do it again. You've now got the opportunity to go back and do that 3 times. You literally can now do that at a 3x level. The next time after that, it's going to even start to compound further and further and further. You can see my point. But my question to you is, are you going to go apply any of this? Are you going to go test any of this? Are you going to go leverage this information that I've just shared and actually see how you can apply it to your own business, to your own reselling? Or maybe you just want to understand it a bit more. So if you do have a question, ask a question down below and I'll do my best to answer it for what you need clarifying. All right, if you stuck around this long, let's dive into the week progress, and also we'll dive into some behind the scenes. So this week has been a very interesting week. It's a couple of weeks ago, I had one of my worst weeks in a long time. And then the week after that, I had my best week ever. So it's been a roller coaster. And then this week, it's actually started off really slow, and we've gone up and down. And then I figured, okay, stuff it. I need to start moving some stock out of the business simply because I need to make more room for all the clothing that I'm doing. So I put on a markdown sale, and I started to basically move books, DVDs for 30% off. And these are things that have been sitting for a very long time, and sales have been through the roof. So I've gotten back up to where I want to be for the week. We'll talk about that shortly. What has actually been selling for this week? Well, let's dive in. Number one that I want to share with you is this vintage laser red robot. Now, I picked this one up not that long ago, actually. I picked it up from Vinny's only a couple of weeks ago. It was in one of my recent videos. I paid about $3.89 from an average cost of good, and the price I sold it for was $95. That includes postage, and I've walked away with a profit of $64.82. Number two was this American Rag men's shirt size. I think it was a size medium, yes. And this was just a bread and butter item I picked up from, I think it was either Salvos or Savers. I did pay $5.61 for it. I think it was from Savers. And I've been able to sell this for $52.90, and I've only had it listed for a couple of days and walked away with around $28.36 cents back into my pocket after fees and postage. And I only knew this because I've just been starting doing a lot more clothing, so I'm able to look for things that make more sense for my customers. Item number 3 for this week is this LEGO Dimensions Midway Arcade level pack. Now I got this from a bunch of LEGO, which you'll see in an upcoming video actually. Now this one cost me on average around $3.38. I've been able to sell it for $45, and after fees and postage walked away with $24.75. So be on the lookout for these LEGO Dimensions. And the next top item for this week, the Sound of Music 45th anniversary. Now Carla picked this one. She picked it when we went on an op shop trip just it was probably a couple of months ago. We did pay $20 for this item, but from the total items that we got from the lot, works out to be about $2.48 from an average cost of good. I've sold it for $50, postage included, and walked away with $23.77 profit back into my pocket, as I said, after fees and postage. So it's been an interesting week. So how have we actually progressed with the week? Well, at this point in time, and hopefully it will be better when you actually see this for yourself, I'm going to read out what is currently the situation. Sales at 92, margin is 40%, cost of goods $353. We've sold a total of $2,297 worth of stock, and profit has worked out to be about $930. ASP at this point in time has been $24.97, and average cycle time is around 105 days. So not too bad at all. Now, in terms of the items that have actually been selling, you can check them out here. But clothes have been the big winner for this week with $831 of revenue coming through. But obviously you can see here video games, DVDs, toys, books have actually been moving out the door as well, and a few other things too. So the clothes and jeans, there's almost $1,000 again just in revenue for this week. So if I did not have the clothes, if I was not focusing on the clothes, it would be a very, very quiet week this week. So because I've started to invest the time and effort into the clothing, it's actually really starting to pay a lot of dividends. All right, that is this week. Let me know in the comments below how your week has been. It's been pretty quiet otherwise for me. Is that for you too? Let me know in the comments. Let's dive into some show and tell. All right, howdy team. Welcome to Monday. Got Carla with me here today. Woohoo! We're going to be doing a pick, pack, and post, and then I'll actually just got a whole bunch of clothing from Salvos with the $2 tag and half price tag. So I'm going to do pick, packing, and post first because we've got 32 to go out. Get that out of the way, and then I can focus on doing photos and listings and stuff. So 32 is the biggest I've had from a standard week, not from taking time away or anything. So 32 for a weekend is pretty solid. Let's get cracking. All right, team. 32 items picked in 11 minutes and 30 seconds. Lots of clothes going out, as you can see here. Listed this just yesterday. A couple here are bundles. Some people have purchased 2 or whatever, which is pretty cool. A lot of Wrangler, Levi, and some I think there's also some Tommy H in there. I've got a whole bunch of other things going out as well. We've got some books, Terry Pratchett. We've got Netflix, Stranger Things. We've got this one I just picked up the other day. CDs, some DVDs. Even a VHS there at the bottom. This is a tub of stamps, like ink stamps, wooden ink stamps. A couple of video games. PlayStation 2 boxed. We've got some PSP games going out. Some more books and things here. We've got Bible Friends going out. LEGO Dimensions, that's brand new and sealed. Need to get rid of that $2 each tag. We don't want that going in there. And then also some more LEGO Dimensions right here as well. So pretty cool stuff going out. Pretty easy to pick, pack, and post. Let's get to it. All right, team. All done. 1 hour and 26 minutes or 27. Here's all the stuff going out. We're going to put it all in over here. I also picked up all these clothes, which I didn't show you before, from for $2 tags and half price. So got to do all the photos of them today as well. Also got some toys too. Not too bad. We're going to get out of here now, and well, still got to do work, but we're finished here. Yeah. Ciao. What's going on, folks? All right, it is Thursday today, and we've got a whole bunch of stock to put into here. This is come from my worker. There's a little bit more in there, and then this is all stock that I'm going to be just picked up and going to be doing some listing or some photos actually, and then obviously doing some picking, packing, and posting. Lots of Pokemon stuff going out, which is a big shout out to John. Thank you, buddy, for that. I'll show you some people what we got in that shortly. What he got in that, sorry, not what I got, what he got. Yeah, you ready to do this, babe? Rock and roll. Alright team, so 29 items, 8 minutes and 32, probably one of my quickest ones. We've got lots going out. We've got some plates going out, we've got lots of clothes, a PSP, a couple of games, we've got books going out, jeans, we've got CDs, we've got DVDs, we've got another book there, clothing, this one, sorry, I can't really see that. We've got these two going out as well. They've gone for $80. We've got some Crown Zenith that's gone out to John. I might show you that when I pack it up a little bit later. And yeah, so it doesn't look like much, but actually it's pretty good. There's about yeah, there's a fair bit here actually. So not complaining at all. We're going to pack this all up, and then I'm going to do my photos. I decided to do this first just to tell people that everything's been sent, so they're not waiting, because it is Thursday midday. So let's rock and roll. Alright, so a big shout out to John. He's the one that purchased these two ETBs. I can't actually show you what we got because I've already packed them all up, but these two hits, these are all the hits, and then there's all the bulk. So he's done really well. There's some pretty big bangers in there. He did get 2 of the secret rare chews as well. So appreciate you, mate, and hope to see you come back very soon. Alright, let's get these packed up out for him. Alright team, really do appreciate you being here. Again, if you do have any questions about any of these different, I guess, math and mindset things that we've been talking about today, more than happy to clarify anything. Again, you do need to do your own research, and I'm not saying that you do these math problems and all of a sudden you're going to be able to solve all your money issues. The idea is that leverage these math equations or leverage this mindset to help you get a better way of operating and help you not get so attached to the dollars, but actually start moving things and actually make more money come into your pocket rather than the idea of more money coming into your pocket. And that is where we don't want to get too stuck on, because once you start thinking you're going to be making lots of money, but nothing selling, that's when you're going to start thinking what is going wrong. And it's probably because people don't want to pay that much for it. I'm not saying go screw yourself over and don't get enough money, but just think about how you can do this a little bit different. Really do appreciate you being here. As I said, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, chuck them down below. Otherwise, you have a wonderful day. Cheers.